So we've all want integrity in voting, and there's someone running anyway. So the way you do that, paper ballots, right? You have a paper ballot. That's why we have a paper trail. If you electronically vote, someone flips that vote. There's no way to tell, which everyone knows our voting systems are very vulnerable to hackers, and no one wants to do a fucking thing about it, except someone does. Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard introduces Securing America's Elections Act to ensure integrity of 2018 elections. Now, everyone's running around with their hair on fire, talking about how the Russians are going to hack into our elections. They are attacking us. They're attacking us. They can't stop saying it. And those are the same assholes who ran around screaming WMDs, and what they want to do is panic you so they can do whatever the fuck they want. Okay? So don't listen to people panicking you about Russia. All right? They're a paper tiger. Here's his Representative Tulsi Gabbard from Hawaii's 2nd District. Today introduced legislation to protect the country's election infrastructure from cyber hackers by requiring the use of voter-verified paper ballots or a paper ballot backup in federal elections. It's about goddamn time. It authorizes emergency funding to empower every state to use voter-verified paper ballots that produce an auditable paper trail, beginning with the 2018 elections. It also, because a lot of people said when Bernie was running against Hillary that a lot of their votes got flipped. How could Hillary be drawing 10 people and still win the state when Bernie's packing stadiums? That doesn't make sense. And turns out that a lot of people are concerned because there's no paper trail. She's saying we need to address that. It also addresses the need to ensure safe and secure software is utilized in voting machines on Election Day. And let's hear what she has to say. Here she is in the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Department of Homeland Security has confirmed that 21 state electoral systems were targeted in the 2016 elections, revealing vulnerabilities and jeopardizing the integrity of our elections and our democracy as people lose confidence that their vote matters and that will actually and accurately be counted. In 2016, DEF CON, the world's largest hacking conference, revealed startling vulnerabilities in our elections infrastructure. We must take action now to safeguard.
So what she just said, that DEF CON revealed startling vulnerabilities in our election infrastructure. No one's talking about that. You turn on Rachel Maddow, Chris Hayes, Chris Cuomo, Jake Tapper, that's his real name. You turn them on, they're almost never talking about this, and what they're talking about all the time is Russia. Why? It gets fucking clicks. It gets clicks. And they're told to by their bosses. We already know that the head of CNN, Jeff Zucker, told his newsroom to get on the Russia story and to get off climate change. We already know that. So, of course, that's what's happening. And, of course, they're not covering. So if you really cared about it, but they don't. Again, what this whole thing is with this Russiagate thing is it an opportunity for the establishment to distract you from analyzing how we got Trump. They don't want you looking at the system and trying to figure out what's wrong with this broken system that gave us two of the most repulsive people in the country to be our leader. Two of the most bought, corrupted MFers in the goddamn country. Those are our two choices, and somehow I'm immoral if I don't back one of them? So they don't want you to do that. They want you to keep thinking about Russia and some Twitter bots somehow overcame $5 billion in free advertising given to Donald Trump, $2 billion spent by the Hillary campaign. All the 13, 12, oh my God. That is nothing but propaganda. That is WMDs all over again. I lived through WMDs the first time. It's happening again. And it's all to distract you because the establishment wants to do something you don't want.
Well, Jimmy, another thing we talk about a lot is moving the goalposts. And here's a prime example here. You know, first it was like, oh, the integrity of our elections are susceptible. Mm-hmm. So Tulsi Gabbard and folks like her are speaking out, being like, you know what, you're right. and we are long overdue for paper ballots. So let's get paper ballots. And then all of a sudden it becomes, social media is influencing, and there are bots. And you know what that proves? The corporate media and everybody that's propagating the Russiagate story, they're not interested in solutions.
Right.
This is all about clicks. They don't want solutions because we're presenting them right now.
And
they don't want to hear them. Now it's about social media.
Yeah. And because, Ron, they can oppose Trump without actually proposing policies that oppose Trump. You could just say he's a Russian, and I oppose him, and let's investigate Russia, and you're doing it a service to the country. And we know that the people who become politicians more often than not are the most mediocre of people. It's very rare you have someone who bucks the trend and tells the truth and stands up and does the right thing like Tulsi Gabbard. Very rare that happens. Most politicians are hacks and mediocre people. Let's listen to what the rest of she has to say. But just to reiterate, yes, it's all bullshit because if they don't pass this immediately, it's all bullshit. So let's see what she says.
Electoral infrastructure ensure that each and every American vote is counted accurately. I'm introducing the Securing America's Elections Act, which will not only provide the American people with a voter-verified, reliable, and independent paper record of their votes that can be implemented before the 2018 elections, but it will also address the effectiveness and security of our electronic voting software. We must act now to secure our elections and renew our citizens' faith in the integrity of those elections. I yield.
There you go. So if you really care about the integrity of elections, maybe pass her bill. But they don't. They don't really care. When I say they, I mean the establishment. The establishment wants to keep Russiagate going so we don't talk about anything and we can somehow get to the 2018 elections and we're going to have a blue wave anyways because it's an off year and all that stuff, and then we don't ever have to change and we can keep the status quo. That's what this is all about. So God bless Tulsi Gabbard, doing a great job. Again, her previous bill was the bill called Stop Arming Terrorists Now bill. Real practical names, real practical things that we need to do. Turns out, no, people want to keep arming terrorists, turns out. And I don't know if they really want integrity in our election system. So don't listen to the establishment news. Don't listen to the people. I don't know how you could be pushing Russiagate and attacking Trump from the right. Meaning he has to go have a more muscular response in Syria and in the Baltics and in Crimea and the Ukraine, all that stuff. I don't know how you could call yourself a progressive, attack Trump from the right, and be pushing the Russiagate. You're not on the left. You're no longer. I'm sorry, you can't. I work for MSNBC. Well, if you push war, you might as well be working for Fox News. You're no longer progressive. That there's some certain things that make you progressive. Being for détente, peace, and being anti-war would be one of them. So good for Tulsi Gabbard, and also wanting integrity in our elections and a paper ballot trail. That would be another one. Would you agree?
Yeah, well, can we reiterate like the point that if they don't pass this right away, then it was all bullshit? I think that's just such an important takeaway here, where it's like, here's your solution.
Yep.
Do you actually want a solution, or do you just want to keep getting those clicks, and do you want to just keep hanging on to your scapegoat? I think we all know the answer's the latter, but we'll see. Well
said, Ron. And so thanks to Tulsi Gabbard again. She keeps doing the Lord's work in the house, even though I don't believe in an external God. I said it.
Right.
So, and I'll even say God bless Tulsi Gabbard. Look at that, even though I don't. So, everybody should support Tulsi Gabbard. I certainly do. And if you'd like to support this show, please make sure you're subscribed. You can also become a patron. We give you a couple hours. We give you this every week. By the way, the live stream is in our premium for our patrons. And we also give you comedy sketches that we don't air anywhere else. So please become a patron and come to our live show March 26th. We just added a second show in Austin, Texas. March 30th, we have a show in Burbank, California. And you can go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all those shows. And thanks for your support.